Chair. I look forward very much to this discussion today. And in terms of my opening remarks, I guess I want to respectfully push back a little bit against the idea that it is somehow environmental regulations or environmental standards that are holding up the possibility of constructing lots of new dams. I'm not aware of a single dam, at least in California, maybe throughout the West, that actually has the financing in place to happen and is being held up because of environmental requirements. If somebody here today knows of such a project, I would love to know that. I am aware of a lot of new dam proposals that are being held up because of feasibility studies and the basic requirement that beneficiaries find a way that they can actually pay for these things before we start to build them. That's common sense, and that's sort of the law of reality and financing. That's not any particular environmental standard. The fact is, the most cost-effective dams in California and in other parts of this country were built a long time ago. The remaining dam sites that are under consideration are far more expensive and far less productive because the biggest dam in the world doesn't make it rain or snow anymore. You're talking about managing the same increment of water. There was a statement made at the outset that conservation does not add more water. I think if we had a few of the water managers from Southern California and other parts of California here today, they would tell you that's absolutely false. There are so many conservation strategies that we have pioneered in recent decades that do produce more water that we need to hear that perspective. We need to hear how evaporative losses and other losses have been dramatically reduced by pioneering conservation strategies, far cheaper, by the way, than the tremendous price tag of building new surface storage. We need to hear how transmission losses and efficiencies in the actual water infrastructure, as the ranking member likes to talk about, can dramatically increase the amount of available water, wet water, for beneficial uses throughout the system. It is sort of assumed, and was assumed in the opening, that cheaper water is better than more expensive. Therefore, we should be moving to surface storage before recycling and desalination. Well, there's a reason why new dams are generally not being constructed. There are some exceptions. Los Angeles and others have found a way to find the money, and they've been able to move forward with their surface storage. But there's a reason why you are seeing more recycling and desalination starting to happen. That's because people are willing to pay for them. These are not projects that are carrying with them huge federal subsidies like the kind of new surface storage projects that we like to talk about in these discussions. These are projects that San Diego and other places have decided are important enough to them that they're willing to actually pony up their own money and make them happen. The statement that the last major surface storage in California was New Melones in 1979 is not correct. That was the last Bureau of Reclamation, Central Valley Project surface storage, but as the ranking member pointed out, there have been huge new surface storage projects that have come online in California, but again, the secret to making them happen is that people didn't put their hand out and ask for huge federal subsidies. They actually found beneficiaries that were willing to pay for those projects, and guess what? The environmental laws didn't stop them. They actually happened. Los Vaqueros, Diamond Valley. There are lots of other local surface storage projects that they've been able to find a way to actually make happen. So it's really important, I think, as we move forward with this discussion to sort of tease out the religion of surface storage from the actual facts on the ground. It would be nice to hear from more water managers that have actually found ways to build these projects, because there's another story to be told here, and there's all sorts of water that we can be making available for all the beneficial uses that I know we all care about if we focus on creative strategies and the realities and the finances of water management instead of bringing out the old dogma about environmental laws and new dams being something that would happen in the absence of the Endangered Species Act. So I look forward to our discussion, and I'll try to bring it back to those realities whenever I can.